Good morning, my crafty friends. My name is Tina, and you are with Northern Stamper. I am a Canadian independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I am so glad that you are able to join me today. So I know it's a little shaky. I'm holding the camera with one hand. I'm trying not to make you seasick there. But I wanted to thank you for joining me today, and today we are going to be working with In the Pine stamp set. If you love trees, I love trees. This is the stamp set. It is fantastic. I'm going to show you two cards to make with this stamp set. And it is really easy. These are fabulous, fantastic. Good morning, Karen. Thank you for joining me. I'm glad you could come. So what I'm going to do, just so that you don't get seasick, you might want to look away for a second. I'm going to mount you on the camera, mount here. And then I'm going to show you my workspace. So just to let you know. So hold on. If you get vertigo, just take a look somewhere else for just about 30 seconds. Let's see if I can get this done. And get everything wired up. Stay with me there. Okay, there's some of the workspace. I have to make sure that everything is plugged in. I should show you the workspace one day. Maybe next week I'll take you on a tour of my workshop, and you can see all the goodies that I have here. So just to make sure that you can see everything. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time to get things set up. But anyways, what I'm going to do is, let's get that a little bit like this. I want to make sure that you can see everything. There's a bit of a shadow down here. I do apologize. Maybe there's a way I can fix it. Sometimes I'm a little late. Wednesdays I drive my son to school, so it takes me a little bit. But anyways, like I said, my name is Northern Stamper. If you ever need to reach me, northernstamper@gmail.com. If you would like to see some of my upcoming classes, you can go to Northern Stamper at stampinup.net, and we have a ton of classes coming up. One of them is an online games and craft night. You can join me here for free, or if you want to win the prize, it's $20, and you will get a kit of a bingo card and items to create the cards that we're making that night. I also have a couple of technique classes, very simple ABC classes. These are very, very simple, great for beginner classes. If you want to try a class for free, join me, drop me an email, a comment, or something to join me in as simple as ABC class for free. Try it out. I have some fun with stamps and inks, and in December we will be doing Christmas packages. Excuse me. We also have some online card clubs. I call them clubs, but it's just something that we do every month. And I wanted to show you what we're doing this month. And we're using the Merry Hello stamp set. This is a hostess set. You can only get it if you are like hosting a party or something like that. So I just wanted to show you. Join me for that class. The one in November. It is November the 24th. And you will get this stamp set. It is the only other way that you could get that stamp set. Good morning, Liz. I'm glad you could join us. And mark in your calendar some upcoming events in January. You do not want to miss these. These are going to be super, super fun. Anyways, what I wanted to let you know is In the Pines today is what we're going to be looking at. These are 14 polymer stamp sets that come in. You can either get it as a bundle, which means you can get the dies. These dies are like super, these are great. We will not be making cards today with the dies, but I wanted to show you something that I've made with that. And these are polymers. You can see through them. And we will be using these today, so I wanted to show you. But the dies that coordinate with this are really cool. And I had made a card earlier using one of those dies, and I just cut out in an oval. You can just see there one of the trees. It's gorgeous, isn't that? And I just tucked under some DSP, which is the designer series paper, which is the really pretty paper behind. and just made a very simple card. Now, these dies for this stamp set are fantastic. So this one is like a negative kind of stamp set. And let's see what else you got in here. So there's some to make some hills. And so this is the one I used to cut out this circle one. There's a couple to make hills, a couple to cut out the stamps that you have here. Maybe it's easier if I show you on the front. Cut these out. And a couple of other ones. So there's a different tree you can cut out for a negative. And, oh, look at it. Sounds like money. And more dies to cut out some of the trees. They're really, really nice. And they are not just for Christmas. They would work for any time during the year. So that's why I love buying any kind of tree type stamp set and dies. So this is found in the August to December holiday catalog on page 43. And if you wanted the stamp set and the dies, it's $49. And there you get 10% off. Always when you buy a bundle, you get 10% off. Always look for this little mark here. Saves you extra money. If you don't have a catalog, please make a comment. I'm more than happy to drop it off to you. And this week, if you like, comment, and share, especially if you share this video, I will mail you out 5 variety pack of greeting cards to you. So anybody who shares this, I will drop off in the mail some cards for you. Just make sure that I can see your name, and I will PM you, private message you to get your mailing address so I can send you off those cards. So don't forget to like, comment, and share to get some cards. So like and comment, I'll send you 1 card. If you share it, I'll send you 5 cards. Oh, how's that for incentive? So like I said, let's get started with In the Pines today. We will try and keep an eye on the time because I do not want to miss the Remembrance Day minute. I am very much of an Army lover because I have a child that is 18 and totally in the Army and planning on going there. So I totally support it and for everything that they stand for. So anyways, let's start off. I'm going to show you how to make this. It is actually a super, super easy card. And I can show you how to do this. This is using In the Pines. So we use the ink from and the stamp set from In the Pines. Some of the DSP that's in the August to December catalog. And it is very easy. So let's get started. This is a really cute punch. It is called a postage stamp punch. So it looks like that. Very cool. So let's get started. So what we're going to do is I'm going to tuck this up into the corner there. And let's get our items together. So what we're going to do is we are going to start with the card base. This is Mossy Meadow card base. So we're going to start with that. And what I've done is I've pre-cut some of the DSP. Now this one is a little larger. So we'll just make it. I wanted to make sure that I wanted a little bit more of the DSP to stand out. So let's get started with that. So when you look at a card, you always look at the card base. What color is the card base? So it's Mossy Meadow. And the next layer up from that is some DSP. So I've already cut this to the right length. And it is about, I think it is 3.5. And, oh, isn't that gorgeous paper on the back? I just love Stampin' Up! Paper because it has 2 sides. Like, I could have chosen this red side, which would have looked fantastic with these trees, too. So I'm going to glue it up. And I'm going to put it up a little higher up there. Okay. So I can see from here, that's my first layer, right? And we have another layer, which I could use this side or this side, but I'm going to use the houndtooth type of pattern. And I might have to move to the liquid glue. This one doesn't seem to, maybe it's taken a vacation on me. So we're going to put that is the next layer I can see. have it nice and even. And what I have next is I'm going to do these postage stamps. So I have this all ready. So let's put this off to the side. Get some Whisper White. And I'm going to ink this up with my Mossy Meadow ink. Now, I had to, before we started, I re-inked my ink pad. So that just means that I've put more ink on the pad. So I can see that I'm going to use one of these trees. So let's get that on a block. Oh, he's already on a block. Look at that. And I've used some of the ones with the background like this. So I'm going to pull that up. So it looks like for that one, I've used this. It looks like the shadow. So I'm going to put that on a block. Let's see if I have an extra block here. I do. So let's put that on a block so that we can keep going. Hi, Lori. I will definitely drop you a catalog if you like. I can do that for you. Not a problem at all. I have lots of catalogs and I'm happy to send them out. So what I'm going to do is place my Whisper White paper this way. Just want to make sure that you can see it. And I'm going to ink it up. I want to make one of them. I can actually punch these out first because it doesn't matter whereabouts on the paper it is. So let's just make it a little easier. Punch these out. These are really cute. They look like little postage stamps. So, and the punches are like super fantastic. I like how they are. So I am going to put one of them. I'm going to ink it up, and I have one large tree. Let's see how this works. So, but remember, paper always has two sides, so mess that up one side. I can always turn it over. It does happen. Don't feel bad. Okay. Oh, there we go. That's one. That turned out really good. I inked it up. So it's nice and thick. So I'm going to put one off a little bit lower as if what you're going to see in the forest. So I have one. Now I want the center one is going to be all by itself. It's going to be like a focal point. And maybe what I'll do is we'll add some Wink of Stella to this one in the center. Oh, that turned out really good. Love it. And let's add some more. So I'm going to, I don't want it so dark, so let's see what happens. So I'm going to do some in the background. Let's see if I just stamp off one layer, take a little bit of ink, put that in there. Okay, so it adds a little bit of shadow. So let's do that again. I don't want it to be super, super dark because I'm going to be stamping on top of that. So when I stamp off, some of the ink comes off and it gives a lighter shade. And let's do that again. Do that for 3. So now when I stamp with the darker, the other one on top, it will stand out more. So let's use that. And I'm going to go full strength on that one so that these ones in the front will more likely stand out. So there, that looks really good. I love these trees. There are so many other things that you can make with it, and it looks fantastic. Since I got my inks going, I am going to make a little tag. So since I got that going, I might as well just, so I don't have to go back over, just ink it up. And I'll pop that in here. Whoop! In here. Let's make sure you can see. I know I got a bit of a shadow. Sorry about that. I'm going to put this over here. Oh, that turned out good. So what I did is when I had to re-ink it, I have a bottle of re-inker. And I put a couple of drops in. And then I took this is a very fancy tool. So are you ready for this very fancy tool? I took my spoon and I just kind of went back and forth. So it kind of pushes the ink around. So, and that's how you re-ink an ink pad. So just in case it gets a little dry or the strength isn't as strong as you want. So now I have these 3. Let us get our dimensionals. Now remember, dimensionals are little puffy bits of adhesive, and they are going to pop up, help stick up the items we want to highlight. So what I'm just going to do is put them on the back. Now, I got these new nails done. I'm not a fancy girly girl, so I thought I'd go to the nail salon and get some pretty nails done. And but I'm terrified to do dishes now, so I tell my husband I can't do dishes because I got my fancy nails on. So I have the dimensionals on the back here. So, and what I'm going to do is I want to make sure that they're evenly spaced. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start from the outside and work in. So I'm going to have, oh, that's my inside one. So I know that. So I got one on one side. So let's pop him on one side. So I'm going to eyeball it. Let's put it about there. So I'm going to have thereabouts. Let's see, he fits in here, and this one will go in the middle, in the left side. Going to put this one over here. So I'm going to try and look about the same. I'm going to use the houndstooth to line it up a little bit. And that leaves enough space in the middle that I can move left and right to make it kind of even. See, I eyeball that. Okay. And all I have left is to put this on. Now, I got this fancy dancy punch. I love the punches from Stampin' Up! This is one of the tail ones. I am not great by making little tails, so this one is fantastic. So there is like a fish tail, and then the other one is an arrow. So I'm going to slide this in. Going to eyeball it, punch, and that's pretty good. I like how that is right there. And all I'm going to do, normally I don't seem to have my cutter with me. I would cut it in the cutter because that makes it nice and straight. So sometimes just freehand cutting with the scissors gets a little on an angle. So I'm going to glue that down. Now I could put it up a little higher if I want, but I want to leave a little bit of green to make it offset. Now the last thing to do, so I'm going to add some ribbon, and this is the sheer ribbon, and this is real red, so it matches what's in the paper. I'm just going to make a bow. So I make my little bunny ears. I know a lot of people don't know how to do this. Make little bunny ears. The little bunnies cross over, and one of them is terrified, and he goes into the hole and through. And I pull them out, and they're little bunny ears, and I pull on the little tails. Oh my gosh, that sounds so cruel. And I tighten the loop, and that's how it is. Really, no bunnies were harmed in making this bow, just to let you know. Now, I'm going to put a little bit of glue on. Now, I don't have my little glue dots. I was crafting last night with a friend, and we were making the glues, using the glue dots for that. So I'm just going to tuck that in there, and maybe I need to make the bow a little smaller. And I can, let's see, can I tuck that underneath somehow? Oh, or I'll just have it pulled down. And that is how we make this very simple kind of card. Oh, that's one heck of a bow. Very long. So I'm going to use the different scissors. I think I have to sharpen that one. And you do know how to sharpen scissors, right? With foil. So there we go. I just make that a little smaller. And that is one of the ones using the postage stamp punch. That is a very simple one. And as I mentioned, I could add some Wink of Stella. Now you can't quite tell, but it adds a little bit of sparkle. Now you'll notice that as I'm doing this, the color is going across because the color is like water-based, and the Wink of Stella adds a little bit of liquid. So normally you would dab, but as I'm doing here, it's more of like a painting brush I'm doing. So there, I don't know if you can tell, but look at that. Very simple, very simple. Keeping an eye on the time, it looks like we still have time for another card. So what I'm going to do is put that off to the side. Love that card, one of my favorites. This, I think, is fantastic. What kind of greeting card? It is not red. It is not green. It is a happy color. So let's make this one very simple. Let's get our card base. So our card base is Knight of Navy. And I'm just going to fold it over. Normally I score it, but I'm just going to fold it over and use my bone folder and just make the edge Okay, so it looks like I have missed my trimmer. So what we're going to do is I'm going to have to improvise because my trimmer is way over there, is I am going to have to make this the size I need. Now, normally I would have my trimmer. I highly suggest using a trimmer and not doing this way because this is just for time. I'm going to trim off a little bit here so it's not all that kind of rough edge. So remember what I said about the scissors? You don't always get a straight edge. So what I want to do is a little bit more. I'm going to put that over here. I am going to fold that actually over so I don't rip it. That actually I should have done with the first one. And that way it wouldn't look so ragged on the bottom. So there we go. So what I'm going to do is first lay this down on my Night of Navy. So this is a very happy DSP. This is called Playing with Papers, I believe. And it is in the annual catalog, and this is available until June of 2021. So I'm going to put that down. Now, the next layer I have is this white one that I'm going to do my trees on. So with the magic of video, I have it already. What I did is these are dies, and I ran it through my cut and boss machine. And these are stitched rectangles. I'm just going to pull that out. What I'm going to do is now stamp 4 trees on here. Now, was it this? Yes, it is the same one. Make sure I have nothing on there. And I'm going to stamp 4 trees. Very simple. I'm using Memento ink. So there's 1. The reason I'm using Memento black ink is because to add the colors to the trees, I'm going to be using Stampin' Blends. Stampin' Blends, if you love to color, is the items to purchase. They are fantastic. And the Memento will not, as you noticed on the first card, smudge at all. So I'm going to add my 4 trees. You'll notice that I started left and right and then worked into the center. Okay, so I have my 4 trees. Okay, and now I'm going to get my Stampin' Blends. I love coloring, and Stampin' Blends are my favorite. I'm going to do a yellow, I'm going to do a blue, a pool party, and a calypso coral. So what we're going to do is just color them in. I'm just using one base color. These come together in a dark and a light, and for a combo pack of a dark and a light is $12. So these are fantastic. Now, the trick with Stampin' Blends, if you are purchasing them and you like to color, is do a little bit at a time, because these are alcohol-based markers. And what happens is, if I had the lighter one or the darker one, I could add a little bit more. I'm just going to show you here as a sample. So you can see now there is a sharp color break in between the 2 colors. Now if I go back, so I have one color and I can mix it, I can blend it so that color kind of gets a little bit muted and it adds some shading. Oh wow, that really looks good with that color. So you can see that it's not that hard break anymore. Stampin' Blends are great for coloring if you love to color. And they got some great stamp sets that you can color in. These are great. Worth every penny. I love them. And they, like I said, they are alcohol based. So when you work, you want to work in a small section when you're doing blends, because they do dry. Once they're dried, you cannot make that blend anymore. So you got to work a little bit at a time. If it's wet, you can blend it like we did here in that tree there. Otherwise, once it's dry, it's done. It's evaporated. So we're just going to keep going over with the colors. Gonna go a little bit more. This is Pool Party. Love the colors that they have. Now these are the colors I'm using that are from the DSP. And it is easy because they make everything match, as opposed to when I first started. I had colors from the dollar store and Michael's and some Walmart, and everything did not match, and I was getting very discouraged and about to give up on this great craft until I clued in and realized, wow, these guys have everything, and they work hard to make sure everything matches. So even if I'm using a blue on like a green background, it still will match. It's the shade that they work on to match everything together. So all of the colors will work together. So that's why I prefer to get everything from one place. Doesn't matter where you get it from, but as long as you're getting it from one place, it is better that way. I can't tell which tree that one belongs to. So now I've colored in my trees with my blends. And in this one I had a little leftover DSP, so I just kind of added it underneath. So do I have a piece left over? I'm taking a look here. I do not. So what I'm going to do is now I'm going to adhere this to that part of the card base. Very simple. Keeping an eye on the time. Oh, we still have time. That's good. Going to put that in the middle there. I am going to stamp my greeting, and I'm going to stamp it in Night of Navy. I want to pull up the color that we used for the card base and the color that's in the DSP. So this way it kind of all goes together. Once again, I'm going to put it on a strip. Leave a little bit so I can make my tail. And then cut the edge. So, where is that? Anybody do the same thing? That you put something down and then you can't find it again? And I'm thinking, how is that possible? This table is not that big. All right. It's like I'm looking for the scissors while they're in my hand, or my glasses while they're on my head. So, let's see. I'm going to push that a little bit more to get a little closer. That's much better. Going to make that straight. And I'm going to add it with, this time I'm going to add dimensionals. The first one I did not, and those dimensionals, did anybody see where they went to? Oh my goodness, it's that table syndrome. It's like there they are. How is it? The Bermuda Triangle of my crafting table. I don't know. How is that possible? Does that ever happen to you? I don't know. I feel like, let me know if that happens to you. Okay, I'm going to pop this just down here. And if I wanted to, I could add a little ribbon. If I want a little bit hanging off. If I want the red. Let's see what the red looks like. Let's try the red. Do I want red on this? I don't know if the red would match. So I can still lift this up a little bit. I'm just going to make a little tail. I'm just going to try it, and if I don't like it, I can always take it off. Well, that's not bad. I think I'm going to leave that. And once again, Wayne Costella, add it to a couple of trees. Dot it on. Okay, don't want to smudge my trees. Add it on a little bit so it looks like little snowflakes on here. And there we go. That is the second card. So we got 2 cards made. Woohoo! So we got the 2. Not bow. I want them to go like this. There we go. We got the 2 cards made. Now don't forget to like and share. And let me know what you think. So looking forward. Don't forget to join me next week when we're going to be using a different stamp set to create some cards. So what do you think of those? Those are great. Very simple and easy to make. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next Wednesday at 10:30. So if you have any questions, drop me a message. Take care.